The 4 torpedo tubes of UB-110. These photographs show the UB-110, a German submarine that was sunk and risen in 1918. They show the control room in the submarine, including the manhole to the periscope well, hand wheels for pressure gear, valve wheels for flooding and blowing, and the air pressure gauges. UB-110 was built by Blohm and Voss of Hamburg. UB-110 in dry dock. After just under a year of construction, she was launched at Hamburg on 1 September 1917 and commissioned in the spring of 1918 under the command of Kapitän Werner Furbringer. Like all type UB-3 submarines, UB-110 carried 10 torpedoes and was armed with an 8. The UB-110 was rammed after attacking a merchant shipping convoy near Hartlepool in July 1918. 8 centimeters, 346 in deck gun UB-110 would carry a crew of 3 officers and up to 31 men and had a cruising range of 7,420 nautical miles, 13,740 kilometers, 8,540 mi. In September she was salvaged and placed in the Admiralty dock. Her engines enabled her to travel at 13.3 knots, 24.6 kilometers per hour. 15. There was an order to restore her to fighting state, but this time to the British side. 3 miles per hour when surfaced and 7.4 knots, 13.7 kilometers per hour. 8. Electric control room. 5 miles per hour when submerged on 19 July 1918, while under the command of Captain Lieutenant Werner Furbringer, UB-110 was depth-charged, rammed, and sunk near the Tyne by HMS Gary, commanded by Charles Lightoller, possibly the last U-boat to be sunk during the Great War. In his post-war memoirs, Furbringer alleged that, after the sinking, HMS Gary hove to and opened fire with revolvers and machine guns on the unarmed survivors of UB-110. Electric control room, looking aft to port. During the ensuing massacre, Furbringer watched the skull of an 18-year-old member of his crew being split open by a lump of coal hurled by a Royal Navy sailor. When Furbringer attempted to help a wounded officer to swim, he was told, "Let me die in peace, the swine are going to murder us anyhow." Third compartment, cruise lockers. The shooting only ceased when the convoy the destroyer had been escorting, and which contained many neutral-flagged ships, arrived on scene. He later recalled, "As if by magic the British now let down some lifeboats into the water." Lieutenant Commander Lightoller was awarded a bar to his Distinguished Service Cross for sinking UB-110. Forward torpedo room. A total of 23 members of UB-110's crew died during the sinking and the alleged ensuing massacre. In September, UB-110 was salvaged and placed in the Admiralty dock with an order to restore her to fighting state, but this time to the British side. The armistice that ended the World War I caused work on her restoration to be stopped. Torpedo room, looking aft. The beam for lifting torpedoes into place is overhead. She was towed on another dock and was subsequently sold as scrap. An unsettling discovery during her salvage was that some of her torpedoes were fitted with magnetic firing pistols, the first such to be identified properly by the British. Luckily, these early examples were proving problematic, often detonating their weapons prematurely if at all. Left, number 6 compartment with sleeping berths. Right, crew space. Magnetic pistol is the term for the device on a torpedo or a naval mine that detects its target by its magnetic field and triggers the fuse for detonation. A magnetic pistol on a torpedo allows the torpedo to detonate underneath the ship Instead of upon impact with the side of the ship, the explosion will lift the ship out of the water and may break the back of the ship, splitting it in two. Left, electric control room, looking aft to motor room and stern torpedo room. Right, engine room, looking forward on starboard side. How the sailors identified those valves and wheels. Actually, these photos were taken after the submarine was recovered from the bottom of the ocean. The control room was covered with rust and slime. Many of the gears and wheels were color-coded, some of them had numbers. Left, electric control room, looking forward. Right, forward torpedo room. Usually the sailors learned pretty well maneuvering on the control room. For them wasn't difficult at all. Unrestricted submarine warfare in early 1917 was initially very successful, sinking a major part of Britain-bound shipping. Nevertheless, with the introduction of escorted convoys, shipping losses declined, and in the end the German strategy failed to destroy sufficient Allied shipping. Left, aft torpedo room. Right, control room looking forward to port. Wheels to control air temperature and pressure are visible. An armistice became effective on 11 November 1918, and all surviving German submarines were surrendered during the war. Germany had 351 operational boats, sunk in combat, 178, 50%, other losses, 39, 11%. Completed after armistice, 45, surrendered to Allies, 179, men lost in U-boats, 5,000 killed.